A friend recently came to me with a very common Singapore car owner problem. His family was growing and his car was reaching its 10th birthday, and he wondered, should I renew or should I buy a brand new car? If you know me, I love cars, especially buying a brand new car. But after running the numbers, we realized that the smarter decision was actually keeping the car he already owned. Hi, I'm Mitchell. I don't believe there's one best car for everyone. With your situation, I'll show you the numbers and help you make the decision that makes the most sense for you. This is Second Opinion. Now, meet Jeffrey. Jeffrey is a real estate agent in his 30s. He has 2 kids. So, when it comes to choosing a car, practicality was the number one priority. His current car is a Honda Odyssey 2.4 liter. Now, it's not brand new, he got it secondhand, and by now he's clocked about 100,000 km with frequent trips into Malaysia. But honestly, it's exactly what the family needed. It's spacious, it's clean, it's reliable. More importantly, the family was already familiar with it. Now, Jeffrey was super clear. He wanted an MPV. So, the question was, should Jeffrey renew COE for another 10 years or get a brand new car? So my first instinct was to push him towards a new car. Then the Mifa 7 was attractive. It was new, it had the new technology, it felt like the obvious upgrade with a fantastic promo at that time. But I ran the numbers. This is where I think many people make mistakes. They compare the down payment price, they compare the monthly installments, but they forget to compare the biggest cost of owning a car in Singapore: depreciation. So let's break down this decision using my CarCulator. The mistake many people make when comparing cars is only looking at the price tag. But owning a car is not just what you pay today, it's the total cost of ownership over the 10 years. Now, depreciation. This is the first thing I look at. Because in Singapore, with the high COE prices, depreciation is usually the biggest telltale sign of the cost for owning a car. For Jeffrey's Odyssey, after renewing COE, we are looking at about 11.5k per year. And for the Mifa 7, we are looking at about 18.7k a year. Before even talking about fuel and maintenance, it's already so much more expensive for the Mifa 7. Next, we look at the upfront commitment. For the Odyssey, there was no additional down payment because he already owned the car. But for the Mifa 7, estimated down payment was about $56,000. Selling his Odyssey will give you back about 15k, but he still needs to put in 40k upfront. Now, that's a very different financial commitment. Monthly installment wise, Jeffrey chose to renew his COE upfront. So, no monthly installments, no interest to be paid. But for the Mifa 7, the loan would be about 1.8k per month over 7 years. Over time, that interest adds up. Now this is where things get interesting. The Odyssey is obviously less efficient. It uses more fuel because it's a renewed old vehicle, and we also factored in the higher road tax, averaging about 2.3k per year. The Mifa 7 being electric has an advantage here, but when you put everything together, the savings from running costs is not enough to close this gap. So putting everything together, Honda Odyssey COE renewal, approximately 19.8k per year. And the Mifa 7, it's about 24.4k per year. That is a difference of about 4.6k every year over the next 10 years. So, what did Jeffrey do? He decided to renew his COE. And after that, he sent his Odyssey into Malaysia for an overhaul and addressed the typical wear and tear items. Of course, there were some teething issues along the way, but ultimately, life carried on as normal. And I think the biggest takeaway was this: Jeffrey was comfortable with his decision, not because he bought the newest car, but because he knew his decision was based on what his family actually needed. Now, does this mean that everyone should renew their COE? Absolutely not. The Mifa 7 is a great option, and for someone else, it could actually be the better option. But for Jeffrey, the Odyssey already solved the problem he had, which was moving his family comfortably. Sometimes the smartest decision isn't upgrading to something new, sometimes it's just recognizing what you already have is still the right fit. And this is why I believe every major car decision deserves a second opinion. If you are currently deciding whether to renew your COE, change your car, or simply unsure whether this car makes sense for you, leave your situation in the comments down below and tell me, what car are you driving? What's your budget? Or maybe, what decision are you struggling with? I'll pick some of these cases up and share my thoughts in the next second opinion. Because the best car isn't always the newest car. It's the one that fits your life. This is Mitchell, and this is the second opinion.